There is a moment in your life, a moment when you finally stop talking to people, and you learn to start talking to God. A moment when your heart is too heavy, and your words are too small, but your prayer is everything you have left. Prayer doesn't always start with strength. Sometimes it starts with exhaustion, with fear, with confusion, with a question your mind cannot answer. So you take that question, and you lift it up, hoping God hears you. Steve Harvey said something powerful. If you pray about it, don't worry about it. If you're going to worry about it, don't pray about it. Steve Harvey. Because prayer is not just your voice. Prayer is your surrender. Prayer is you telling God, I believe you more than I fear this. But here's what most people don't understand. When you pray, nothing might happen immediately. No sign. No whisper. No miracle. Just silence. And that silence makes you doubt. You start thinking, did God hear me? Why isn't anything changing? Why do I still feel lost? But listen to me carefully. The moment you pray, God moves. Even when you don't see it. Even when you don't feel it. Even when nothing around you looks different. Prayer shifts things you cannot see. Prayer rearranges things you don't notice yet. Prayer opens doors quietly before they ever open loudly. You pray in private, but God works in silence. You pray with doubt, but God works with certainty. You pray thinking nothing is happening, but heaven is already preparing something for you. Prayer is not a transaction. Prayer is not a wish. Prayer is not a button you press for instant results. Prayer is trust. Real trust. The kind that says, God, even if I don't see anything changing, I still believe you are working. Steve Harvey once said, faith is the belief in things you cannot see. And once you believe, you act like it's already done. Steve Harvey. That's the power of prayer. You pray, and then you live like God heard you. You don't panic. You don't rush. You don't beg. You trust. Because prayer isn't supposed to remove every battle. It gives you strength for the battle. It gives you clarity. It gives you peace in the middle of the storm. It gives you courage when you feel small. It gives you direction when you feel blind. Sometimes God won't change the situation, because the situation is changing you. Sometimes the prayer isn't about making life easier. It's about making you stronger. And strength doesn't show up instantly. It grows slowly, quietly, faithfully. Every time you pray, your heart softens. Your mind clears. Your spirit levels. You release what's heavy, and God replaces it with peace. That peace, that quiet voice inside. That's your sign that God heard you. Prayer doesn't always change the world around you immediately, but it always changes something inside you instantly. That shift, that calm, that small spark of hope, that's not an accident. That's God saying, I'm here. Keep trusting me. So when you pray tonight, pray with trust. Pray with patience. Pray with peace. Pray knowing God is already moving, already preparing, already arranging, already answering, even if you don't see it yet. Because the moment you pray, heaven hears you. There comes a time in your journey when you pray, and nothing happens. No sign, no signal, no breakthrough, just silence. The silence that makes your faith shake. The silence that makes your heart question. You start wondering, does God even hear me? Why isn't anything changing? Why is my life still in the same place? But listen carefully. God's silence is not rejection. God's silence is preparation. Silence is where He sharpens you. Silence is where He teaches you to trust without proof. Steve Harvey said, "Your faith is tested the most when your life makes the least sense." Steve Harvey. And that is exactly what silence does. It tests your faith. Not to break you, but to build you. Not to punish you, but to position you. When you pray and nothing happens, God is not ignoring you. God is protecting you. God is rearranging things you don't know about yet. Some blessings take time because God is still removing the things that would destroy you if you receive them too early. You think nothing is happening. But what if everything is happening? What if the delay is the blessing? What if the pause is protection? What if God's silence is the sound of Him working behind the scenes? Sometimes God becomes silent because He already gave you the instruction. And now, He's waiting for you to take the step. You keep asking for the whole plan. God says, "I gave you enough for the next step. Move." Faith is not walking when the path is clear. Faith is walking when you can't see 2 feet ahead. Prayer opens the door, but faith walks through it. And silence is the hallway between the prayer and the promise. Even when God is silent, He is never still. He is never absent. He is never uninterested in your life. He is rearranging timing, moving people, shifting opportunities, closing the wrong doors, preparing the right ones. Sometimes the silence is God telling you, "Be patient. The blessing is bigger than you think." Sometimes the silence is God telling you, "I'm not ignoring you, I'm preparing you." And sometimes the silence is God telling you, "You're closer than you realize. Don't stop now." You think silence means God is far. But silence often means God is closer than ever. Closer to the breakthrough. Closer to the shift. Closer to the answer you've been praying for. He's just working on it quietly, so you don't panic. And you don't run before it's ready. Steve Harvey said, "God is always on time. You may think He's late, but He's never late." Steve Harvey. So if God is silent, trust that the blessing is on schedule. Not your schedule. His. And His timing is perfect. So if you're in a silent season right now, don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. Don't lose trust. Because silence is not the end. Silence is the middle. The breakthrough is coming. The answer is on its way. And your prayer is already in motion. The waiting season. It's the hardest part of trusting your prayers. It's the place where your faith feels stretched. Your patience feels tested. Your heart feels tired. Because waiting doesn't just test time. It tests belief. You start wondering, how long do I have to wait? When will God answer? Why is everyone else moving forward except me? The waiting room of life can make you feel invisible, forgotten, left behind. But you're not. You are being prepared. Steve Harvey once said, "God doesn't reveal your whole journey. He shows you the end result and expects you to trust Him along the way." Steve Harvey. And that way, that path, is often full of waiting. Not because God is slow, but because your blessing is big. Nothing powerful grows instantly. Not strength. Not character. Not wisdom. Not faith. The waiting season is where God develops you. Quietly, deeply, intentionally. If God gave you what you prayed for right away, you would not be ready for it. You might mishandle it. You might lose it. Or it might overwhelm you. So God waits. And He asks you to wait with Him. The waiting season teaches you patience. It teaches you trust. It teaches you obedience. But most importantly, it teaches you surrender. The ability to say, God, your timing, not mine. Waiting is uncomfortable. It stretches your faith like a muscle. And just like a muscle, faith grows under pressure. Every day you wait, your belief strengthens. Your heart deepens. Your spirit becomes tougher. Sometimes the delay isn't about the blessing. Sometimes the delay is about you. God is shaping you in private for something that will happen in public. He's building you behind the scenes. For a moment the world will see. You may feel stuck, but you're not stuck. You're being positioned. You're being aligned. You're being refined. The waiting season is not wasted time. It is sacred time. Steve Harvey said, God is preparing you for what you asked for. You just don't see the preparation happening. Steve Harvey. That's what waiting truly is. Preparation you can't see. For blessings you haven't reached yet. So don't rush the season. Don't push the timing. Don't compare your journey with anyone else's. Your life has its own appointed time. Your blessing has its own appointment too. And it will arrive exactly when God planned it. Not a moment too soon. And not a moment too late. So while you wait, trust, pray, believe. Keep your heart open. Keep your faith steady. Because the waiting season is not proof that God is ignoring you. It's proof that God is preparing you. And what is preparing is worth the wait. Your prayer is not lost, forgotten, or ignored. Every word you whispered, every tear you shed, every quiet hope, it is traveling toward its divine destination. You may not see movement yet, but heaven has already begun arranging the people, opportunities, and circumstances that will deliver your answer. Your prayer is on its way, perfectly timed for your life. Trust that what you asked for is coming exactly when it should. Even when nothing seems to be happening, God is actively working in hidden ways. He is rearranging situations, opening doors you cannot see, protecting you from things that would have harmed you, and preparing blessings that will exceed your imagination. Silence does not mean absence. Silence means preparation. Your faith is growing while your prayer is moving. Keep trusting the process. Your struggles are not wasted. Every obstacle, every disappointment, every heartbreak is shaping you into a stronger, wiser, and more patient person. But your journey is not only for you. One day, someone will see your story, hear your testimony, and gain hope. Your perseverance and faith will inspire others to keep going, proving that God's timing is always perfect and worth waiting for. God often answers prayers suddenly and unexpectedly. One opportunity, one connection, one door can change everything. Your breakthrough may appear faster than you think, but only when the time is right. Trust that your waiting is not wasted. God's timing is perfect, and when He moves, your life will accelerate in ways you never imagined. Right before a breakthrough, life often feels hardest. The pressure rises, doubts grow, and obstacles appear. That is the enemy trying to stop you from receiving what God already prepared for you. Do not quit. Hold on. Stay faithful. Your prayer is almost answered, and your blessing is just around the corner. The next chapter of your life will be filled with fulfillment, clarity, and divine reward. Keep trusting. If this message inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Bemotive, and turn on notifications so you never miss another motivational story. Your faith and your prayers are powerful, and together we can keep growing stronger every day.